Yo, more bad news. David Haye says he doesn't believe that a fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury can happen before November. We're going to talk about that on this side. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. Link in the description. Sky Sports. You guys see it? I know you see it. It says AJ versus Fury. The offer must be absolutely ridiculous. You guys see that? Offer must be absolutely ridiculous. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury would need a ridiculous offer to finalize world title fight this summer, says David Haye. So this is obviously just David Haye's opinion, but he's a former cruiserweight and heavyweight champ, right? Britain's rival champions are considering lucrative options to stage their blockbuster battle, with promoter Eddie Hearn remaining optimistic about delivering date and venues this week. But Haye, a former heavyweight title holder, believes that a huge financial reward is required to ensure Joshua and Fury share the ring in the next few months. Quote, this is David Haye's opinion. He says, "I'll be surprised if it happens before November. If it does happen before November, fantastic. But knowing boxing like I do, whatever offer they receive, it is going to need to be ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous to get over the line. And if it does get over the line, God bless both of them." So he's saying, what I know about boxing is the offer is going to have to be some kind of crazy offer. They deserve every penny they earn because they both put it on the line. They both sacrificed. They both become heavyweight champion in their own right. They both taken their licks. Fury got off the canvas with Wilder. AJ got over his AJ versus Ruiz Jr. loss, came back with the victory, so they deserve the richest prize. Yada, yada, yada. They both deserve to be in this mega event. No, they don't, because Fury deserves to give Wilder a trilogy, right? So anyway, that's the basic of what he said. And Eddie Hearn, like I said, the teams will get together. I will try to see Bob Arum on Tuesday. We're nearly there. We have worked really hard and we don't want to give in, yada, yada, yada. You know, more BS. This is horrible. If you have the fight done, announce the fight. We're not playing any games. And this just looks horrible for Eddie Hearn, Rematch Room, Top Rank, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, Queensberry Promotion, AJ, and Tyson Fury. Stringing people along, acting like you have a fight. No date, no announcement. You know, now David Haye's coming out. He knows the business. He works with Sky Sports. He's saying this is going to need to be extremely big. And the thing is this, you got to understand a few things about the business of boxing, right? First of all, nothing's impossible. I get that. But that's the same thing of like Canelo versus average Pilgrim. Yeah, it's boxing. Anything could happen. So there's a chance that Canelo could get caught slipping. But we knew that wasn't going to happen. Now, they keep clout chasing this particular fight with Anthony Joshua. Joshua's posting stuff saying, hey, we're working really hard. But it's a bad look, and it makes boxing look like a mockery. Look, this is what Joshua said. Positive news this evening. I'm lacing up my boots right now. My management company and Rematch Room have received the first official offer to host Undisputed. I'm coming, nowhere to hide. If they don't get this fight done, they're going to look extremely bad after all this hype, after all this buildup, all this commotion. And you got David Haye, who knows the business, who's been in the business, and he's saying he don't think it'll happen so soon in the summer. Now, let's talk about the business. Another reason, okay, so I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but as of me recording the video, it's April 14th. There's 14 days in a 2-week period. So that means it's the second week, mid-April. It is mid-April, and as of recording this video, Tyson Fury had previously said if he can't get the fight done by Tuesday, they're moving on because they don't have time to wait, right? And as of recording this video, Tuesday has already came and went. It's 2 weeks into April, and we still don't have a conclusion. We haven't heard actual announcement for this fight. They haven't done one press conference or anything to promote the fight, which means you have roughly about 2 months, 2 solid months of promotion. Also, you have Ramadan. They're trying to put it in a holy kingdom that celebrates Ramadan. Ramadan lasts for 30 days. So you got to look at it like, if you're potential sparring partners, they might not be able to spar with you. You might not be able to get sparring during Ramadan. You know, it's a religious time, and that might not be the case. Plus, if it's in Saudi Arabia, to my knowledge, they would have to probably build the event out and the venue like they did similar to Joshua Ruiz 2, which took place in Saudi Arabia. So you need manpower. So during a holy month of worship, 28, 30 days of Ramadan, you would have to get this done and promote the fight. And like, are you going to be able to do promotion during Ramadan, you know, and make all this happen? You haven't even announced the fight. So I agree with David Haye, and I've been saying it longer than David Haye. It doesn't sound likely. In addition, you have other major factors like Tyson Fury says, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Wilder arbitration, and I'm not at liberty to speak, which means he's still in the thick of it, and he is not in the clear. So if you still have arbitrations and mediations with Wilder, how are you going to book a whole nother fight and try to stage it in a matter of months, and you don't even know the conclusion to what the arbitration judge or arbitrator is going to decide? And you could have to pay damages. You could get sued. We don't really know. We don't know what someone's going to decide, a verdict that has yet to be announced, right? So that's a major, major obstacle that a smart person would probably try to clear before they moved on to the next thing. You know, clear off your plate and make sure everything's on the up and up. In addition, Tyson Fury has expressed many concerns about inactivity, you know, with other fighters and during the pandemic, and himself as well. So does he want to straight away? Joshua just fought against Kubrat Pulev, but does he want to just go in, and he ain't fought since February of last year, a month before the pandemic started? Is Fury going to want to take a fight, even though he says, oh, Joshua's a big stiff idiot and a dosser? Is he going to want to go in and straight away fight a guy like Anthony Joshua, who just knocked out Kubrat Pulev and has been in the ring a lot more recent than he has, right? Does that make sense for a mega fight? You also have very little time to promote. So again, I agree with what David Haye is saying. You know, you got a lot of obstacles. Beyond all of this, speaking of the pandemic, you have a global pandemic. Now, even if you're an oil tycoon or a prince and you have a lot of money, most people have a lot of money. They've made a lot of right choices. They're wealthy, they're rich, whatever. You're in the business of keeping your money and making more money and making smart and powerful investments. So who's going to offer Joshua and Tyson Fury game-changing money during a pandemic in a place where it's not known for having boxing events and stuff like that, and during the Rona, and not knowing if they have the full participation of fans and, you know, different things like that in the middle of a pandemic, to the point where they'll receive a ROI? That just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, are there travel bans? Like, let's say this is they say the biggest fight in British boxing history. Will the British fighters be able to fly, and will there be travel bans in droves and stuff for them to fly out and get to Saudi Arabia in July? You know, it just seems all too quick. And there's so many little nuanced things like that from Ramadan. July is the hottest month in Saudi Arabia. You have little time to promote. You're in arbitration with Wilder. Fury's inactive. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like it's all cap. And we're going to find out shortly. And it's sad because this is boxing and they're trying to toy with the emotions of fans. And ultimately, fans will be left with blue balls if this fight doesn't happen next. Ryan Garcia just recently did this with the Pacquiao fight. Said he was fighting Pacquiao, said he was fighting Gervonta Davis, and then none of the fights happened. and now he's fighting Javier Fortuna, which that's not the fight the big blockbuster fights he was clamoring for. And now we see the same situation on a bigger scale, and you got people in media and ESPN saying that contracts are signed and stuff like that, and Joshua's saying he's lacing up his running boots. So we'll see. As of recording the video, I haven't heard anything about the actual fight happening. It seems like you have a lot of hurdles to clear in a very short space of time. You have the pandemic, you have Fury's inactivity. Fury's a very inconsistent person. You have the Wilder arbitration and the other things that I've mentioned in this video. So despite all of that, we'll see. We'll see if they can get this fight in the clear. Like I said, potential travel bans. There could be, an injunction with the arbitration judge. We don't really know what's going to happen in a situation like that. And Fury also said he's going to wait till Tuesday, and then if they can't get a conclusion or resolution, then he's going to move on. So at the end of the day, David Haye, John Fury, Tyson Fury at times, all of them have sound uncertain of this fight. Another very big piece of the puzzle that a lot of people aren't taking into consideration, Tyson Fury, his advisor, Daniel Kinahan, is a wanted man. And they're saying he's a nefarious gangster, and it has caused a boycott from the big companies like Sky Sports and BT Sports. So any event or surrounding MTK in the UK, based on all the scrutiny, they've been very cautious about not necessarily indulging in those events like they openly did in the past. So, for example, if you guys noticed, Jamel Herring and Carl Frampton is part, and maybe even Jamel Herring, they're MTK global fighters. But since the connection with Daniel Kinahan, I don't believe it got picked up by Sky Sports or BT Sports over there in the UK. Same thing with Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is an MTK global fighter, and Sky Sports and BT Sports did not pick up that fight either. So you also have, so on top of all these other issues I named and race against the clock, you have the scrutiny with a purported gangster in Daniel Kinahan, and Tyson Fury says, "Oh, Daniel, my boy," and he's saying Daniel put together these fights and all that, and it's brought a negative press to Kinahan's involvement, and they have a BBC special called Panorama. So there's a lot of things and a lot of moving parts that would need to be leveled or removed out the way, like Daniel Kinahan's involvement in MTK, the Wilder arbitration, etc., time restraints, possible travel ban restraints, and uncertainty with the global pandemic. All these things that I've mentioned in this video for this to happen. And again, what Prince or whoever has a lot of money and wants to put together a fight where they have to invest so heavily in the purses of the major, the main event, and you got potential travel ban and Rona issues where you might not have a full crowd. You have potential broadcasters who may back out or be pressured to not air this fight because of the Daniel Kinahan involvement. Yet and still you have Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, and all these people, and they're acting like they're going to get the fight done. So what I feel, Ego Stradamus, is this could certainly just turn out to be a blame game where they do all this posturing and say, oh, okay, I'm trying to make the fight. And then it just becomes a blame game. And Joshua is saying Fury ducked, and Fury saying Fury saying Joshua didn't want no parts of it, and Eddie Hearn were playing games, so he moved on and stuff like that. So I think that's what it's going to end up being. I don't think they're fighting next based on the 1,000 reasons that I told you. And then it's just going to be disappointed fans who bought this horse-ish, and it's going to be a blame game between the two fighters, and go to social media, and Joshua's going to talk his trash to Fury, and Fury's going to talk his trash, and it'll be a finger pointing pissing contest where they both accuse the other person of being scared or not being ready, or threaten, I would have knocked you out. but the fans don't get to see it next. That's what I do believe. David Haye also doesn't believe that the fight will happen next, but he says if it happens, it happens. Good, you know, they deserve it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be as nice as David Haye. I think it's cap. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Also, use my link to get TUBEBUDDY. TUBEBUDDY is an awesome browser extension to help level up your content and optimize your YouTube channel. Listen, I've used TUBEBUDDY for years, start off with 0 subscribers. Now we're over 200,000. This is something that I personally use daily and I've used for years to level up my content and optimize it. And they have a lot of bulk processing features and different things like that. So if you want to take your account seriously on YouTube, the whole goal is to get views and, you know, make some money on here and get seen. TUBEBUDDY is that lick, is that way to get there. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. TUBEBUDDY, use that link, and we'll see. You know, time is a ticking. We'll see what they get done in a global pandemic. If it was cap and Ego Stradamus is right or not. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TUBEBUDDY. I've used TUBEBUDDY for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TUBEBUDDY is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TUBEBUDDY and level up your channel faster. We working.